Welcome back, everybody. 4th of July travel is on a lot of people's minds, with the country's birthday exactly 2 weeks from today. And this year it falls on a Friday, meaning the vast majority of Americans are going to have that long weekend. And as a result, record high travel is expected for this Independence Day. So just today, AAA released its travel forecast, and here's some of the numbers. Projecting more than 72 million people will go at least 50 miles from home between Saturday, June 28th and Sunday, July 6th. That is an increase of a little more than 1.5 million travelers compared to last year, but up 7 million from before the pandemic. As is always the case, most people are going to drive to their destinations. Look at that, 85%. But air travel is also up over 2024's holiday. Elizabeth Carey is Director of Public Relations and Corporate Communications for AAA of Western and Central New York, and she joins us live here tonight. Thanks so much for coming in.
Yeah, thanks for having me. A lot of excitement coming up in the next couple of weeks.
No doubt about it. So tell me about what is different for this 4th of July travel, because I mentioned the 4th falls on a Friday, which makes it a little easier for a lot of people to travel. But you're also looking at the whole week leading up to that Friday this year.
Yes, the fact that it's on a Friday and the whole travel period encompasses 2 weekends, it gives people different options. We can go away for a whole week, we can go away for a long weekend. So there's different people traveling, maybe just a little road trip, or some people traveling internationally. But the thing is, people might be saying, like, how can this be? You know, gas prices are up, grocery prices, we're paying more for everything, there's political concerns, but people want to get together with their friends and the other ones, so they're really prioritizing that travel.
Yeah, and especially when the calendar makes it easier than ever to get it done. I'm going to be at Chautauqua Lake, so that's 50 miles from Buffalo, right? So I'm one of these, you know, tens of millions of people. What should people know in terms of, it seems like it's a little trickier to time it out, because you guys are always great about saying, look, avoid this day or this day, but it's stretched out over such a period. Do you know when the best times are?
Well, for drivers, when I looked at the calendar, I was like, oh my gosh, every day is busy. Peak traffic, especially afternoon into the evening. So if you can travel in the morning, that's going to be your best bet to avoid that congestion. If you're talking about going to cities like Boston, New York City, a lot of people traveling for fireworks and tying that into the trip, some of the traffic could be up 150% compared to a regular day, and we know they're already busy in those cities.
Yeah, no doubt. What about air travel this year? And I'm interested to know, I'm going to ask you about gas prices in a second, because we do think they're going to keep going up. And, you know, whenever fuel gets more expensive, that also impacts the airlines. But people have booked these flights long ago, so they took advantage of some of those better deals.
Yeah, that's the thing. So a lot of these trips have been booked for several months. When we have to see if these political concerns and everything that's going on are going to affect travel, that might come later, maybe in the fall, when, you know, not so many trips are already on the books. But as far as air travel, there's a lot of different days for people to travel. So people might say, oh, this day I wanted to leave, but it was more expensive, so I switched it to this day. So we're kind of seeing travel across the board. There's no like one set busy day. You know, people are kind of leaving on the 28th and stay until the 6th, but also in between there as well.
I have a little less than a minute left. We had a report yesterday. Gas Buddy is expecting gas prices will go up, you know, maybe up to 25 cents over the next few weeks because of the war in the Middle East. Is that what you're expecting? Well,
it really depends on the oil prices. They could definitely increase. They've gone up about 10 cents in the past week, maybe a little over a week. So they could continue to increase. It depends on what happens in the Middle East. But if we can keep the oil prices down, that has a direct impact on what we pay at the pump. Again, high demand for summer travel, they could uptick a little bit. I don't know if it'll get to be 25 cents, but we might be paying a little bit more. The good news, we're paying much less than we were a year ago.
Yeah, even with the increase that we might see if prices keep going up another quarter, it's still less than last summer.
Right, like in Buffalo right now, $3.59 a year ago, like $3.17 right now. So that's still a good savings compared to last year.
Good stuff. Elizabeth Carey with AAA. Always great to see you.
Yeah,
Happy
safe travels.
Thanks so much. Thanks for watching Voices, everybody. Have a great weekend.